Okay, time to take on the Elite Four in Pokemon Platinum. So make sure you have all the gym badges, which is really silly because, you know, of course you're going to have them all. You need to have them all in order to get this point. But oh well, it's a good feel-good moment anyway for you. It's like, yay, I got all the badges, I'm so awesome! So now you gotta go demonstrate that power that brought all this glory. And let's do that by taking on the first of the Elite Four, Aaron. Now he is a master of bug-type Pokemon. And he's going to start off the fight with a Yanmega, a bug flying type. So be very careful. I recommend you send out something like a, well, anything that can use a fire type attack, or rock type attacks would be amazing against it if you have something like that. Because fire just destroys these bug type Pokemon. And rock is really good too. Let's see. Ooh, so one downside is I gotta make sure I don't get hit because Psychic is weak to bug-type attacks, so Kershaker could take a lot of damage if I'm not careful. I'll try to be careful, though. So, he starts off the fight with a level 49 Yanmega, which isn't really all that high a level, but it's okay. He's just the first of the Elite Four. Every turn, though, its speed will increase thanks to its speed boost ability, so it's going to be really fast before too long. Now, he has a Scizor on his team, which is really weak to fire. So I'm going to give it a nice flamethrower and see how it likes it. It's pretty powerful though. It has a lot of attack power, so be very careful when you're taking it on. Let's see. Good amount of experience. Letting the Elite Four is great for experience. Okay, it's Vespiquen. Now this thing is a bit annoying because it has a lot of defense and special defense. And it can use Defend Order, which increases its special defense and defense by a stage. It can also use Heal Order, which heals it, but it's really not a very important point because he ends up using full restores anyway. See, there's that Defend Order. It's so annoying, too. It can also use Attack Order, which has a high chance of a critical hit. It's a pretty powerful bug-type move, so you want to be very careful for that. Rock-type attacks are the way to go against this thing, but, you know, you gotta still be very careful. I highly recommend, before you take on the Elite Four, go to Veilstone City and pick up a bunch of X attacks, X defense, X speeds, X specials, and X special defense. They're so handy. Then if that thing ends up using too many defend orders, you can just use an equal number of X attacks or X specials to help offset the difference. It's really helpful because otherwise that thing could wall you to death, and it's not fun. So the star Pokemon on Aaron's team is his Drapion, and it's level 53. I think it might have gotten toned down just a little bit from Diamond and Pearl, but it's still very strong. It's not a bug-type Pokemon, so fire-type attacks will not do any extra amount of damage to it. It's Poison Dark, so fighting-type attacks won't even do that much. It's just normal damage. So ground-type attacks are really the way to go. Heracross. Now, fortunately, you should have some pretty recent experience in taking out Heracross, thanks to Barry. Flying-type attacks are the way to go, but fire-type attacks do pretty nice as well. And Psychic, for that matter, because it's a fighting bug-type. It hits very hard, though, so be on guard. And just make sure you use Hyper Potions if you need them. That's why you bought them, after all. Okay, well that's that. Heracross is out of there. Hopefully he didn't give you too much trouble. Aaron, that is, the whole thing. He will now concede defeat. Yeah, you better concede. You're out of Pokemon, bud. So, one down. One of the Elite Four down. Lost because I wasn't good enough. Yeah, that's right. On to the next room. They're all tougher than me. Yeah, actually, that's true. They all are tougher than me. So, move on ahead, and we're going to take on the next member of the Elite Four, Bertha. She uses ground-type Pokemon, so I'm going to send out Marriland first, since he's a pretty strong Torterra. He's got a grass-type move. Now, one thing important is making sure you check your Pokemon's speed, particularly if you're planning on using X speed during the fights, because you want to make sure that you'll be able to outspeed a lot of things. X speed will increase your speed by 50%. So if I use one, Marriland will be at about 149 speed. So it can actually outspeed a lot if I give it an X speed. Just something to consider. Fortunately, Bertha isn't really that fast. I might still use an X speed anyway, just to be sure. But I think that's what I'm going to end up doing against this Whiscash. Now see, she sends out Whiscash to start the fight, as opposed to the old games where she started with that annoying Quagsire. I'm going to start off by using Razor Leaf, though, just because I don't want to take too many chances, and I think I can probably take this thing out in one hit anyway. Yeah, I managed that, no problem. The Quagsire would have been a little better to set up against anyway. So sweet, I'm level 61 now, or Marriland is. Okay, Gliscor. Now this is something I want to be very careful with, because it does have Ice Fang, and that can do a lot of damage to any grass types you were thinking of using. Not only that, it is pretty tough to take out. It has Hyper Cutter, which makes it so Intimidate doesn't work, or anything that lowers Gliscor's attack will not work. It has a lot of defense, pretty decent attack power, and it's a flying ground type, so lightning type attacks won't work against it. Grass type attacks are only normally effective against it. I think this thing has Ice Fang. I'm not 100% sure now that I think about it, but I know it at least has Thunder Fang, which was not good for Aquila, but oh well. It wasn't too bad, thankfully. Okay, so Bertha's setting in her Golem now. I want to be very careful with that because I think it might have Explosion. I don't remember, but still, it has a lot of defense. Remember that. Grass type and water type moves are your best bet against this thing because it's quadruple weak to it, so those type of attacks will be doing a lot of damage. Otherwise, fighting type attacks and ground type attacks are very good against it as well. I think even steel types will do pretty good. But just remember, it has a lot of defense, so your best bet is to use special-based attacks against it, unless you're using water or grass types. Because then it shouldn't matter. Okay, Rhyperior. This is the star of her team now, and that's a new addition to her team since Diamond and Pearl. I'm going to use Leaf Storm against it because it's a really powerful grass-type move, but also because it's special-based, which means it'll get around Rhyperior's high defense. It also, I don't remember what ability this one has, but I didn't want to take any chances because Rhyperior can have an ability that reduces the potency of super effective hits against it, and that wouldn't be very good. Okay, the last Pokemon she's going to send out for me is Hippowdon, and I'm kind of wondering if I should switch out or not because it has high defense, and I could use Leaf Storm again, but I don't think it'd really do enough because I already lowered my special attack by half. So I'm not entirely sure it's going to do enough. So I'm going to try to see what Kershaker can do here. Hopefully it'll do the trick. I'm not banking on it though. So I'm going to hit it with Psychic because I know that this thing has a lot of defense. And I got a critical hit, so it's alright. It's all good. But also, as soon as she sends out Hippowdon, which hopefully is late in the fight like she did against me, it creates a Sandstream, which means it'll always be in sandstorm weather. So that's not good. Thankfully, she sent it out last against me. Okay, so Bertha is down. She's out of here. She's gone. So I'm going to take this opportunity to heal up my Pokemon and make sure you do the same because this is really important here. If you're having trouble, make sure you get a lot of items. You can always use the VS Seeker to grind and get a bunch of money. You can buy revives. You can buy Hyper Potions. Never buy Max Potions. Either go Hyper Potions or Full Restore, because Hyper Potion heals like 200. And look at that, all my guys, they're even over-leveled here, and they barely have 200 hit points. So that's all you really need. X items. X items save your life in this fight. I'll show you that in the future battles, because that's when I'm really going to need them. Anyway, 2 members of the Elite Four down, 2 to go, and then just the champion remains.